Yep.
Okay, we have started recording. So hello, welcome to Cloud Robotics Working Group. We're doing a custom capabilities tryout with Transitive Robotics. Last time we were trying out Transitive Robotics. So Christian here is the co-founder and CEO, I want to say, yeah, of Transitive Robotics. So he's obviously got a lot of knowledge in the area. And then Phil last time was test driving with a real robot, but Phil's microphone isn't working, so I will be test driving instead. So first off, let me share. Let me just share my whole screen. It's going to be a lot easier that way. Which screen? This one. That's a nuisance. Sorry about this. I'm trying to record one screen and share the entirety of the other screen, so it all gets confusing. So if I instead share this screen, that means the call should see my desktop share. Yeah, I can
Mhm.
work here and it will record the video call at the same time. Okay, so we should be good. Show my screen anyway. Okay, so um, that's what I wanted. So I can run a simulation, TurtleBot simulation. I haven't yet got Transitive to install any add-ons because I tried to install to the system and it failed because Unshare wasn't allowed. AppArmor was blocking it. So I think this is the problem that Phil was having last time when it was
The
first starting.
now it's a different one. The app armor thing is you're probably running on Ubuntu 24. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, in Ubuntu 24, they've changed the security model. When you go to the portal, it will tell you what the action is that you need to take about it. If the robot is online, it should say on top that there is some self checks there, and then there are some instructions. It's just a sysctl call that you need to make to allow it again.
That's just running a container. Oh, I guess it removed as soon as I stopped running it. Okay, that's fine. So system control, user, start, transitive, robot. And then in here, I do get this error box. Unshare not supported. Please add this.
Yeah,
And if I do that,
but the robot is not even online, so the app armor should only matter to capabilities, because if the robot is not online, it cannot even send you that error message to the front. Ah, now it is online. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
yeah. So if I can get this log, and there we go. Unshare is unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
Yeah.
with syscontrol already contained this line.
I see. Yeah, and you need to apply it too. Maybe we should update our instructions. I think it's sysctl-p or something like that. Let me see. Um, yeah, sysctl-p. We probably need to run it as root. Okay, let's see. And now you probably maybe go to the portal and restart the agent. Um, you can do that in the dock menu on the top right. Takes a second.
I'm not sure I clicked it. Oh, I did. Okay.
But let me make sure we're going in the right direction here. This portal that you're showing me, is that already a local portal?
This
No, this is still transitiverobotics.com. Yeah, so for developing a custom capability, you probably want to first open the documentation on that,
mhm.
because it will walk you through setting up a self-hosted deployment of Transitive on your local dev machine. Yeah, so if you go to setup, the one before that, yeah, that's where you probably want to start. So this is a different curl command, as you probably notice. It's deploy. So this will deploy a whole bunch of Docker containers on your system, all of them microservices that are involved with Transitive.
Does it need Docker?
Yeah, you definitely need to run it somewhere where you have Docker and Docker Compose. So probably, I don't know whether WSL will work.
It should. We
It
can
might.
try.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. But the reason I started working on Docker was because I was still getting errors. So I just did I didn't do a live follow, but if I just do it again. We're at 12 and still needing a password.
That password thing, I think, is not something you need to worry about.
Okay.
That's just a side effect of us running a test for whether or not we're sudo, and we're doing a bad job at suppressing this sort of expected error.
I see.
But if you look at I didn't follow what you just did. Did you just start the Rust tool again, or?
No, I didn't. I just clicked get log. I can try and
Oh
close
yeah,
that.
okay. And the error is still there?
No, different error. Well, no error. Stood out as empty.
Okay. Let's just see when it starts. The log doesn't update automatically, only if there's actual errors.
I can try starting it and seeing how it does.
Um, yeah. Wait, yeah, this is fine. The agent seems to work well. If you want to check the log of the capability, that's in a different folder. But you should be getting the same as what you're getting there. So, and I guess, sorry, I'm hesitant because this has actually nothing to do with what we're doing today. The local will behave quite differently, I think.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy enough to. I don't even know if we need this. The whole idea was we'd make a capability and then try deploying it to a robot, and I'm setting up the robot part so we have something to deploy to.
You're setting up, but you're also setting, like what you're doing there with that deploy curl command that we just ran is also setting up your dev environment. So it's not just, I see. What you have in the VM is where you would later want to deploy to.
Yes, exactly.
I see. So currently, you cannot deploy custom capabilities to robots running against the official Transitive Robotics hosted solution yet.
Okay.
You can currently only use it on self-hosted, and that's because the vetting process of third-party capabilities for the cloud is not automated yet.
Right.
Because currently we do that manually, right? So right now, custom capability implies that you're running on your own self-hosted deployment.
This might be an issue with using it in WSL.
Yeah, very, very likely so. Yeah, we don't assume that people develop on anything but Ubuntu, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So WSL does not. So what happens if you just use your? So WSL does not support a multicast DNS. What happens if right here you ping hostname.local, and when I say hostname, I mean the hostname nvar. So $hostname.
Oops. Oops. that didn't copy.
I see. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't allow pings, but it resolves. Oh no, there it is. Weird.
Ah, that took a moment.
Okay. Yeah, but that's okay. But then it probably, if you do the same thing and you put some sort of subdomain in front of it, it probably won't work, right? If you just go up with your arrow ones and then make it foobar or whatever, yeah, or that. No. So this is what MDNS is needed for in local development to forward all of the to resolve all of the subdomains to the main host. And the deployment, as you see above, there is a small cloud MDNS container, and that is a MDNS server. I don't know what the right terminology is that just resolves to that. But I guess your local. There are some instructions, as you can tell from the warning there, right? But they were obviously written for Ubuntu. I don't know how that works in WSL. You can see maybe those files exist, right? You can see what the Avahi daemon is running, but I don't even know how in WSL you install packages. Oh, okay. That's promising. Yeah, okay, but good. Then we can go to the next step of the instructions. I mean, there are some steps you that absolutely need to do. It doesn't just work out of the box.
Temptation to kill 1290.
Absolutely.
Make sure this is enabled. I can do that while I'm waiting. What was it? It wants hosts, files, MDNS, not found, return DNS.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
It's just not supposed to be the minimal version of MDNS4. And then this one is important. Edit that one and add the .local. It's already there. Did you already do this?
No.
Okay, then maybe the container did that for you.
Should be able to check it in ping, I guess.
Yeah, this is what we have been testing, right? This is exactly the same because hostname resolves to that name, and then putting anything in front of it is oh wait, what? There's a -2?
Yeah, so the Avahi daemon showed hostname conflict retrying.
Okay. Well, then try that same thing and put portal in front of it.
Like this?
Is the one that could work. Oh, that's what you tried. Okay, good. Well, then it's probably just that missing install that is currently being blocked by the app.
Maybe. I'm probably just making things fail by trying to use WSL, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's the thing about users. They run on slightly different setups. So all of these issues are valid.
Yeah. If you want to be able to develop, can you use Windows?
Can you? Yeah. It's hard to support all of that, of course. That's why most teams develop on Ubuntu, but still not a bad exercise.
Already installed.
Yeah, it might just be a WSL issue. Can you in the terminal there where you are in WSL do the ping again with a portal and then the -2 one? Yeah. No, it doesn't do it. Yeah, I'm not sure how WSL does DNS resolution. It might defer to the host, and then the host doesn't speak it. So this is complicated. Let's just do the workaround. I don't know whether this is even, maybe we should even avoid this. So just edit your Etsy hosts.
Sorry?
Etsy hosts, like if you
I
edit
see.
the file, we're just going to edit there. And basically, you can actually just take that line where you, what's the easiest way to do this? No, it's okay. Like maybe at the bottom, yeah. Create another 127.0.02, say. I think all of those map to localhost. And then for now, add portal dot your host name, which you can probably copy and paste. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just immediately screwed it up, so maybe it's safer.
Dot local. And then, but we unfortunately we'll need a bunch of those. Let me tell you all of the ones that we need.
There is a WSL config file where you can have it change networking mode. In a moment, I'll show the contents of my file. Oh, yes. I think this is what Google's talking about, or the Google AI.
Yeah, okay. Now the Google AI has been wrong before. This is the list.
Sometimes the Google AI is right. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's quite right. I just posted in the chat the list. It has all of my home desk things in it, so maybe there's a way to replace them all.
Yeah.
We can do that with sed. Or maybe your power Vim user. Great. Not bad. And yeah, you need to put that same line as the previous. Just behind.
Oh, I see. So just this.
Yeah, that should be fine. And I think we have the portal twice now, but that probably doesn't even matter.
Oh, wait, should I be using -2? So that's what Avahi was trying to host on.
I think it doesn't matter because Avahi, I think at this point we're ignoring Avahi because your local WSL instance seems to respond to the non-dash not the non-2 one.
Yeah. So the problem is this is Etsy hosts on Ubuntu, and I'm trying to get it from Firefox from Windows.
Oh. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
I mean, the alternative is we just develop in the VM, because this will be a full. I've got Firefox in here. I can run Docker in here. It might be a bit slower, but
yeah,
it should work. Let's go with that. Setup. So we're going to grab this and put it into here.
Phil just made a good suggestion, or it looks promising.
So, yeah, I have. It's about time I updated that because a while ago I put stuff in to try and get GPUs working. They did not open. That's fine. Yeah, all of this stuff just gets ignored by it. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, mirrored is already set. Maybe this other stuff is ruining it then. And then I need to. That's fine. No.
So WSL is really mostly a virtual machine, or how should I think about it?
Yeah. I think it's a lightweight Linux virtual machine that integrates with Windows in some ways, like how its networking is done. But when you're having issues, you can always go with a full-blown virtual machine. It's a bit sad that so far all we've encountered is me failing to set up the first step because of using Windows instead of Linux.
It's yeah, I don't actually know what to do about this. This is not so uncommon that people don't read instructions anymore, or think that maybe they don't need to follow them in detail. And I think this is based on a lot of truth. A lot of times you can actually, do it in slightly different ways, right? WSL in theory is a simulated Ubuntu, right? Or at least that's what we're made to believe. But sometimes these differences matter, and then often that's where it breaks down. Yeah.
Actually, I guess if we're
Um,
I'm just waiting for I'm trying
Yeah.
things while
Definitely. There might be I mean, there's definitely a way in Windows to set those local host names too. I just don't know what the counterpart to etc host in Windows is. Oh, that sounds shockingly similar.
does.
Oh, look at that. Well, but then I guess here you have to use the actual IP of the WSL instance, which might change.
It might, yeah. Actually, one question is oh, can't see that. Okay. I do a status. Can I ping that host name on Windows? Looks like it.
Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, and it's IPv6, but that should be fine.
So
does etc host allow that? I think yeah, maybe it does.
So maybe if I do one
No,
of these.
no. You're holding the picture upside down. This would say that you want to redefine what desktop QM blah 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 means, and you want it to mean 127002. You don't want to overwrite that. You want to use it as the destination. So the question is whether you can put that first and then give it aliases, but I'm not sure whether it does, whether etc host allows you to do that.
Is there?
And no, that won't work either. But you could now list all of those other domains and then hope that this would be interpreted as, if I enter one of the latter, please reinterpret it as one of the former, which is syntactically what all of the other lines in etc host say, but they always resolve to an IP. So I'm not sure it will work.
It doesn't look like it does.
I don't think it does.
I mean, yeah. One test is that we can try running just like a normal web server in WSL, but hopefully at this point. Oh no, we're still going. Okay.
Is it slow because it's actually emulated? Like, why would it be so much slower than WSL?
Might be a disk space issue. Shouldn't be. I should have plenty of disk space, but probably emulation. Yeah. Let's quit Steam. Okay, so we can ping. Maybe this is the address to redirect to.
Yeah. Good call.
Ooh, that gave me hope for a moment. Then I shouldn't have hoped.
Let's think about this a second longer. I don't know what that funny percentage sign is.
Oh, true.
%66. That doesn't look like a valid IPv6 address to me,
No.
but I don't know. And then the other one you can try is if in WSL, do an IPA like you did earlier? Because I thought it also had an IPv4 address.
There is a problem, which is that it's not been saving this whole time because it hasn't had permission.
Well, that would explain a few things, yeah.
Yeah. As admin, and I think every time I save it, I have to click retry as admin and then hit the administrator yes no, which is a pain. There's got to be a better way to do that.
But okay, sorry, we're going very quickly here. I think your test is using the naked domain, and this here only has all of the subdomains. So if you go to your browser, the one that you were using, oh no, you are using Portal. Okay, good. Thanks for checking. So this should resolve to that IP address. Well, then the other thing to do is if you go to a normal command line on Windows, not in WSL, there we should perhaps first check that we can ping that. First of all, the naked IP address that we're using, and then also the new domain that we're defining. Yeah, exactly.
Apparently not.
Okay, so that's my bad then. So we probably do need that. And the reason why it wasn't working before was because we hadn't saved it. So good. So let's undo my edit and use the 66. Yeah. All right. And now I would go back to the console and just test the domain names themselves. Ping portal.
Yeah. I'll just grab this one.
Yeah. Huh. Then it's very surprising that Firefox can't do that. Yeah, wget is a good idea. Yeah, why not? Whoa, nice. Yeah, I think you need to specify HTTP. Although, no, normally you don't, and not in wget usually.
Might be Windows weirdness.
Invoke web request command. All right, well, don't want to debug your wget if it's not reliable.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we're up.
Okay, great.
Let's go with this instead. Interesting.
Did we not get the error, the warning this time on the console?
No MDNS.
Oh, that's successful. That's great. And then it says to go to portal mic virtualbox.local. Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Okay. The uppercase might, I don't know exactly. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't matter, but let's just try. Yeah.
Ping okay, curl not okay.
Can you do the curl with -I? So we get the header responses.
Is it capital I or lower?
Lowercase. So we do get a, oh no, 500. Okay, so we would have to take a look at the server log. Surprising, but fine. Yeah, you can do a docker logs -f cloud. I think that should be it. And there is an error, get address. Yeah, okay. It looks like the Mongo server is not coming up. Starting cloud app. Mongo, yeah, somehow failing on MongoDB. Can you do a docker ps? Restarting. Okay, so this is in a restarting loop. This is good question.
So used to typing compose, it was just automatic.
Look at that. Requires a CPU with AVX support. Okay, but that's just a warning. illegal instruction, core dumped. Well, they call it a warning, but then after that it fails. Okay, do a simple test and just do docker run MongoDB. I think that's it. No, never mind. Let me look it up. What's the... it's just Mongo. My bad, not MongoDB. You can cancel that and just do Mongo :5. It should have already downloaded that. Oh, but we downloaded it as part of the... All right. Yeah, there it is, Mongo 5.
Looks like you've got a
This is
special version.
ours, yeah. But I was going to test the upstream
the
one.
normal one. Yeah.
But this does not. This looks almost like an issue with your virtual machine.
It does, yeah. So far we've tried WSL, the networking hasn't worked. We've tried VirtualBox instance, and the CPU hasn't worked.
Shade is
Do we risk
telling
Windows?
You need to dual boot. That's the answer.
See, I do have Ubuntu installed as a second partition, so we could try that. The problem is that it doesn't have much space allocated into it, so whenever I try and use it, I normally run into space issues.
I think we may want to... I mean, at this point, we've recorded 40 minutes of us trying approach that is not quite recommended, and inevitably we failed. I don't know. I'll let you decide whether you want to try again some other time. There's obviously various ways we can do it. One hope is maybe Phil's microphone will work next time, and we could because I think, Phil, you were running on Ubuntu. Maybe, I don't know whether you're listening right now, but you can let us know in chat, or you can do that. Mike, dual boot into that. It's also, I think it's also fine if I run it, because we're more... I think the setup is not the exciting part. I think it's more the development and sort of the developer experience, and just playing around with the idea of MQTT sync. What is a package? How do you see it like running in your browser and see changes? Thanks, Phil. So I'd also, as a fallback, be happy to just run it on my machine. We can still do that now, but 20 minutes is also not a lot of time. I don't know how you feel about this.
I think you're right. I think we could we can stop there and try again next time, which just means the meeting announcement will be custom capabilities again.
It's your call. We don't have to.
I think it's an interesting thing
that we have in the pipeline. We could totally do something else in between, revisit it at some point. Yeah, it's completely up to you.
I think I'd prefer to wrap it up. As far as other things in the pipeline, there's nothing really. It is just, what do we think is interesting to look at? That might be working towards wrapping up logging and observability and moving on to something else. But
one thing, logging and observability wise, that we could do is, I've been thinking about the group and sort of, our output and so forth, and these videos are good, and we get some views on them, and sometimes, depending on what the topic is, people show up. So I think the consistency is definitely one of the values. But we've also, with Transitive, I don't know, I think maybe you've seen the announcement. We just recently announced Transitive 2.0, which has storage and visualization. We're storing data in ClickHouse, and we are visualizing using Grafana. And a lot of this is to enable capability authors to write capabilities that are really more along the lines of logging and observability, because until now, a lot of what we published in terms of capabilities was very transactional, right? Like video streaming, teleoperation. But it's clear that when fleets grow, you need something that is a little bit more longitudinal, like you see your entire fleet, not just one robot, and you also have a like longer term perspective with historic storage, and that's exactly what this is for. So one idea, I'm just putting it out there, is for us as a team to actually take to condensate some of the learnings that we have gathered over this last 6 months of covering logging and observability, and actually come out like write one transitive capability that perhaps we open source or whatever, that applies some of those learnings. And I don't know exactly what that means, like specifically, but we could look through the notes, especially what you wrote up in terms of, you had some preliminary insights from our ROSCON reviews and so forth, and just take one of those insights and make a little capability out of that applies it and kind of puts it into action.
That's interesting. I'm struggling to, well, I think you're more familiar with what capabilities are capable of. To me, it doesn't seem like the right format, as in, if we said one learning is that you should always add a new diagnostic when you find something's wrong.
Yeah, that one probably doesn't translate. That's more of a team workflow thing, and it's already supported by the health monitoring capability, which does then channel whatever you add to your ROS diagnostics and surfaces it. But there may be other things. So I can tell you where the white space is right now. We don't have anything on log ingest, right? So that's a fairly obvious one. We don't have too much. We don't have anything on ROS bags, like ROS bag upload or that type of data. So there's some possibility. Yeah, we would have to think it through, and maybe that kind of falls on me to look at what we have discussed in this group and almost propose a capability that we could write together, and then just this is trying to kill two birds with one stone, right? Or maybe there's a less morbid analogy, but one is writing a custom capability and showing how it works, but also for the first time as a group, producing an output to the community that is different from our from what we have done so far. And the latter is really a discussion for us to have, whether we even care to do that, right? Because I think our mission statement, the way it is right now, is fine, right? We meet as a group, we discuss things, we produce videos, and we aggregate and put out blog posts. And I think that adds value to the community. So we don't have to do this at all. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I put it out there, and maybe the way to answer that is we should only do it if we can come up with a good example of a capability, something that really feels meaningful and perhaps easy, because we also don't want to become like a developer group that now works on something for whatever a few months. It would have to be somewhat simple.
It's an interesting idea. So a new output for the group. I think the intention from the start was that it wouldn't just be information and blog posts. We would eventually get to improving things directly. So yeah, the question is, how does the group feel about that? So maybe we can start a discussion about that somewhere, see how everyone feels.
Yeah, it would be good to get Phil's and Giovanni's opinion on this, of course, because they're the other regulars here. And then I think if we have an agreement, then we could. I don't actually know how to proceed. I mean, it would make sense. On the one hand, it would make sense to announce that more broadly and say, like, we're thinking of developing something if you want to be part of it. I mean, similar to the meeting announcements that you always make, right? And one of them would then perhaps say, okay, well, next week we want to start developing our own artifact, our own whatever capability or piece of software, whatever shape and form it takes. If you want to be part of it, be there or be square. Yeah, I don't know. Let's start with Phil and Giovanni, I guess. But the default should, of course, be that we don't do it. It's just a possibility, right? The default is that we hold course, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah, that makes sense. We can also discuss other possibilities for things to produce. What jumps to mind to me is having reference architectures.
Yeah.
One thing
So,
in particular would be Kubernetes, KubeEdge.
mhm.
Found really hard to set that up. I think if we had a model for that, it could be another model for Canonical's observability stack, another one for transitives. Maybe we just say this is what we recommend as a minimal thing for each of these different stacks. That could be quite good. That might be a mix of development and informational. We can discuss that.
Yeah, I like that. Um, yeah, yeah. That's interesting. It's almost like, yeah, I mean, it's sort of it's a form of curation, right? Like the value is in the curation that we guinea pig, right? We try something out and we translate it almost like from a third party perspective. Obviously I can't do that for transitive, but I could do it for cause. Or and of course we as a team can also do it for cause and other things. And then just say, yeah, this is I like that thought because there's a lot of open source projects that we could then evaluate and see where they fit, right? For instance, right, a lot of people still use ROSBridge, and we could demonstrate how you can use it and where the limitations might be, and then compare it to other things like COS and Transitive and Foxglove WebBridge and stuff like that. And yeah, I actually yeah, I actually like that better than my proposal, to be honest. I feel like I think it flows more naturally with what this group has been doing and the the brand, so to speak, like what people expect to hear from us. Yeah, it's a good point.
So yeah, instead of a blog post or even an informational page, the next step up would be here's how to run it for yourself, sort of a thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's discuss it. We'll open up a forum page. I can't remember what they're called. Discussions, GitHub discussions. We can talk in there if anyone's watching this and wants to get involved. Absolutely welcome. The reason we talk about everything in the open is so that anyone can get involved that wants to get involved. So let's take that as our next thing. Let's make our next meeting a repeat of this, but driven by someone with Ubuntu access that has more than a few gig of spare hard drive space.
And since Phil is unable to respond, we'll just volunteer him here.
Good
And
point.
no,
Phil
thanks,
doesn't
Phil.
speak.
I took your chat message as sort of an implicit volunteering, but I'll be back up. For next time, I'd say if it doesn't work in the first 10 minutes, I'll just take over and we'll focus not so much on the setup, but just the experience. And I think that's fine, right? I mean, we're not trying to necessarily. I know we're giving up some of the objectivity, but that's not the point, right? It's not necessarily about showing how, like, evaluating how easy or not it is to set up. It's more about exploring what you can do with it once you're willing to go through the trouble of setting it up, right? But yeah, if it works on Phil's machine, it worked last time pretty well. So I'm hopeful.
Absolutely. All right, let's go with that with a plan for a plan, and wrap up there. So see you next time. Thanks for joining, and we'll talk on the GitHub discussion.
Sounds good. Thanks.